Welcome to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast,
where we've flipped the script with our groundbreaking modus operandi to bring you real, relevant, and relatable tactics and techniques to master your own play to win mindset.
Talk about a superpower. It's time to iron your cape.
What we know for sure is what got you here won't get you there.
You can't see the spinach in your own teeth.
And finally, hang on, because this one is really deep. Once you realize that you are the traffic, everything makes complete and unadulterated sense.
Welcome to The Edge, where playing not to lose is not an option. So, Karen, it's interesting. I've been thinking a lot lately, and one of the things I think is safe to say about the both of us is that we are goal-focused. Now, how we get to the goals, how we plan the goals, how we set up the goals, you and I are a little bit different on that front. But in general, in life, we love to be able to set a goal. And I also think it's safe to say that it's not so much about the goal itself, but it's the experience of the goal that we really go after. What do we learn about ourselves? What's it like? What is it from getting from A to B? And there's so many different thoughts and approaches with it, but it's basically about going above and beyond versus what's required to shape the experience of the goal that we have.
Yeah, you're right. And so there's a couple of things that are spinning in my head right now. And, because a lot of times I'll talk about like physical kind of goals. And as I'm actually even saying this, I think that what I need to start to do is I need to bring more of my physical goal mentality into my not physical goals. And so it makes me think about it. So I'm going to go back for a sec to the book that we've been talking about this month, Never Finished by David Goggins. And one of the things that he talked about, so he was selected for this air assault school. It's like a 10-day program. It's a true test that, most of the time the class fails. And he met this guy, this captain in this class who essentially blew everybody else out of the water. And the thing is that let's say they go up to like they had to perform this kind of physical test called 5 and dimes. And basically what it is you do 5 pull-ups and then you do 10 elevated push-ups. So Goggins and this captain that he meets at this training grab the bar at the same time. He knocks out his 5 pull-ups. By the time he hit the dirt, he finishes push-ups. That other guy was still on the bar doing pull-ups. And he watched them, and the guy's like, why is he doing that? But the interesting thing was that, he did a whole hell of a lot more than 10 push-ups. And what happened was this guy consistently went above and beyond. He always did more. He wasn't there to just pass. He was there to continuously push himself and grow. And I think that so many people rely on other people to give them the motivation to keep going. But this captain had this internal kind of thing happening to smash all the standards that were set up for him. So people started to emulate him, and he made other people better. And what this makes me think of is like how when we started running, right? It was, okay, we had the goal of we're going to run a 5K in X amount of time. And then we played some games on how we would do that. And then we're going to run a 10K on X amount of time. And then we're going to train, and what's the stuff that had to go through that to stretch ourselves to keep going. Then it was, okay, great, we're going to run a half marathon. And then the half marathon became, all right, how do we do it in less time and then less time? So that constantly challenging yourself kind of mentality just comes so natural to me when it comes to something physical. And as I'm saying this, it's like, all right, so what do I need to start to think of that is going to be able to, that I'm going to start to bring some of that to, again, like I was saying before, non-physical kind of goals? Because the physical stuff, I'll push myself all day long. And my problem, though, is that I push myself and then I hurt myself and then I have to stop.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit, right? So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying from the physical, you are dialed in on how to not only do what's required, but to go above and beyond through shaping the whole entire experience.
Exactly. So here's the thing. I don't know if I even told you this. So last week at Orange Theory, there was this challenge called Everest. And so I go in there that day and I'm talking to the person behind the desk. And I said to her, okay, I said, so who's winning? Like, what are the distances for the people that are winning this challenge? And she's like, so somebody ran, I don't know, 2.8 miles. I was like, okay, well, how old is she? She's like 28. I'm like, yeah, I don't care about that. I said, tell me, how about my age group? And she was like, well, what is your age group? So I tell her, and she's like, okay, somebody ran 1.53 miles or 1.73 miles. I said, okay, what about the next lower age group? And so she said somebody had ran 1.9 something. And then somebody ran 2.0 something. And I was like, okay, what about the next age group? Lower. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, I want to beat somebody that's 20 years younger than me. So those kind of things in my head are the just don't stop running. So the cool part about it is that, yeah, I didn't hit my own personal record for this, but I hit the personal record that I wanted to challenge myself enough to say, okay, it wasn't about the other person, but I want to be faster than a 40-year-old.
I love it. So if I'm hearing you right, it's that to do what was required would be win your age bracket. To go above and beyond is to set your sights for 20 years younger to see if you could do the same from a physical standpoint, right? And I think that's what's really important. And it's where in your life do you have I'm going to do what's required mentality? And where in your life do you have an above and beyond? Why are there different categories with that? Right? So why in area A is it only do what's required, but area B is above and beyond. So I love that, Care. So then what you're saying is super easy to do it from a physical perspective. You'll always do one more step. You'll fill out the time, you'll do what's required. Your all outs will be at a higher speed and going above and beyond. But what I'm hearing you're saying is you want to carry that into other areas.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that in some respects I do, but not as consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, right? So I think that for part of this call then is to do the inventory of where are you just getting by, or where is it that you actually push yourself, and where you push yourself, not just in a physical standpoint, but going above and beyond, taking the extra moment, doing the extra email, being able to, taking an extra second when you're interacting with somebody, helping somebody out, completing the report with all the information that might even be nice to have versus need to have. So many different ways to be able to see it. I would get curious to see where you would influence other people to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that it's that kind of like the setting a goal isn't enough. It has to push you past where you think you can go. Because there's always the standard, but here it is. How do you be the one that sets your own standard? Yeah, like to set your own standards to stretch yourself.
I love it. I think it's great. It'll be fun to see where you ebb and flow this concept in your life, right? Be fun to see where I do as well. I'm going to start with the inventory list of saying, how can I really say it's not about the goal of getting it done, but it's the experience and who I become in the process of achieving that goal. I love it. Great food for thought.
Quick question. Did you throw anybody out of your foxhole yet?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast.
Craving more? Of course you are.
Check out our website at kickstartyouredge.com,
where we fire you up, fan the flames of your competitive edge culture, and ignite your tenacious pursuit of an all-out play-to-win mindset.